Hey, X-Men! Hi everyone, it's me! And today, let's learn to control matter together! Magneto!
Forget IP ownership and movie rights and all that legal nonsense. There's one reason and one reason only the X-Men universe has to stay separate from the rest of Marvel's properties. Because you know Magneto would have his way with anyone named Iron Man. Quickest battle ever. Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory.
Awesome intro.
The show that's calling out the film industry for a serious lack of imagination in their posters this year.
Well, understandably, they can improve. So anyways, hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory. Hi.
Batman v Superman, Civil War, Neighbors 2. I'm noticing a pattern here, guys. And sure, the
I see why you did
trend
that.
nowadays is to just slap two superheroes together and have them duke it out. But the X-Men have been doing that for well over a decade. These mutants never got along. Come on, Wolverine, you don't have to punch Deadpool in the face. Hey, Jean Grey, it would be great if you didn't disintegrate Cyclops, alright? Charles, Eric, can the two of you act like adults and not try to kill each other for just one movie? No, not even once. And it ain't stopping anytime soon either, since there's another mutant war on the horizon in X-Men Apocalypse. So knowing that, it's high time we start looking into the powers of these extra-normal humans and prep some strategies for how to handle some of the franchise's heaviest hitters. And who better to start with than Magneto? I mean, when I was a wee 8-year-old educating my classmates on the proper hand-to-hand traction for swinging on the monkey bars, there was only one thing I wanted to be: a mutant. Sign me up for Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, aka American Hogwarts. Teach me how to throw a car with my mind, or shoot laser beams out of my eyes, or freeze a pencil in thin air. You know, practical, everyday useful stuff. Or at least as useful as I've found calculus to be in my everyday life.
Oh, burn! It's super useful if you're using it in a daily basis in that particular field of your occupations in a job-based environment. Workload.
But amongst all the awesome mutants and awesome powers, there was one who stood out from the rest. The most awesome one of all, Magneto. And yeah, flame war in the comments, all you Wolverine fans, please snicked away your retractable claws and get honest with yourselves for a moment. Wolverine is great, don't get me wrong, but can he stop a bullet in midair? Can he lift a car without even touching it? Can he fly? I don't think so, but you know who can? Magneto. And probably Storm, too. She could probably do those things. Jean, along with a few others in the X-Men universe, since those sorts of powers aren't really that rare to come by, but that just makes Wolverine's inability to do them all the more unacceptable. But Wolvie rants aside, when you really look at it, the story of the X-Men movies for the last 15 years has truly been the story of Magneto and his relationship with Professor X. And yet, in writing this episode, I was disillusioned. Because for as grandiose as he talks, and as powerful as he seems, when you get right down to it, Magneto is one of the most vulnerable mutants in all of these films. The guy's a glass cannon, powerful but fragile. And his biggest weakness, one that you could use to take him down yourself, is one that you probably wouldn't expect. Now, to truly appreciate Magneto's one fatal flaw, we have to first understand just how he does what he does. What makes the guy tick? The source behind all his powers. Magnets. Who would have...
Who would have thought? Wow, what a surprise! Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Next!
Never guessed! But for as simple as that explanation is, there's actually a lot more to it than that. Now, I'm gonna guess that the elementary teacher who had you play with horseshoe magnets and paper clips in school didn't tell you that there are actually 6 different types of magnetic force. 6! Bet you'll be looking at those refrigerator magnets in a whole new way now. The 6 different types are diamagnetism, paramagnetism, ferromagnetism, antiferromagnetism, ferrimagnetism, and superparamagnetism. Of those, the type we're all most familiar with is ferromagnetism. ferromagnetism. This type occurs when an object's electrons all point the same way, attracting materials to it. It's the strongest and most easy to identify type of magnetism, and yet it only works on items consisting of iron, nickel, cobalt, their alloys, and a few other naturally occurring minerals. It's actually really easy to remember, ferromagnetic, from the word ferrous, meaning containing iron. Think back to the periodic table. We were all confused why Fe stood for iron, right? Well, Pharaoh. Gotta love those ancient root words. And seriously, think back to those
the ancient words.
As from experiments you did when you were in first grade. The magnet could pick up a paperclip, largely comprised of iron, but couldn't pick up your pencil, made of wood. This is all simple stuff, I know, but I gotta make sure that you guys stick with this episode. Stick with it. Like a magnet. Alright.
Get it. Stick with it.
Now, while I could take you through the other 5 types of magnetism, after looking through all the X-Men films, Magneto seems not to be the master of magnetism so much as he is the master of ferromagnetism. Since
1 of 6. It's still not that bad.
every single thing that Magneto lifts seems like it would have traces of iron, nickel, cobalt, or an alloy. The Golden Gate Bridge, which Magneto lifts in X-Men The Last Stand, the main towers and suspended structures are made of steel. The ballistic missiles Magneto stops in X-Men First Class, shells made of steel. The RFK baseball stadium he lifts in Days of Future Past, constructed from a base of steel. Even Wolverine! Throughout the X-Men films, we see Magneto constantly bending and manipulating Wolverine's claws. Seriously, it's almost like a running joke the number of times they've used this trick, and yet we as the movie-going audience are always like, "Oh, snap! He's totally schooling Wolverine!" As though we didn't just see it in like the last 30 movies. We get it, his skeleton is metal, alright, find a new way to beat the guy. Anyway, per Marvel lore, Wolvie's skeleton, claws included, are made of adamantium, which, despite being a fictional metal, is a very dense, artificial, iron-based alloy.
Iron-based alloy. Adamantium.
According to canon. Even fake metals have iron in them. So in short, you can think of Magneto as a permanent magnet, attracting and controlling specific types of materials. This would explain why in X2 X-Men United, when Magneto's held in the plastic cell, he's rendered completely powerless. In order to escape the cell, Mystique has to inject a prison guard with none other than iron. When the prison guard has extra iron running through him, Magneto's able to lift the man and extract the iron from his body, much the same way a permanent magnet does. In retrospect, that's a silly sentence. That would imply that permanent magnets on the regular lift humans up and extract iron from them. Gives magnets a weird, evil intent that I didn't anticipate. But just how strong of a magnet is he? Well, the biggest feat we see him perform across all the movies is that aforementioned Golden Gate Bridge scene from Last Stand. A structure weighing 887,000 tons or 804 million kilograms.
I respect that. That is super powerful.
Based on the bridge's weight and the magnetic strength required to generate enough lift to levitate other, much smaller objects, we were able to calculate that the strength of Magneto's magnetic field would be in the range of 100 million Tesla, a magnetic force that can only be found in neutron stars. By comparison, you know what the strongest magnet we have on Earth is? 100 Tesla. 100. Oh yeah, and by the way, hashtag not spawned by Tesla, the car company. It's just that Nikola Tesla did all sorts of cool stuff. In short, Magneto is 1 million times stronger than any magnet we've been able to produce here on Earth. That's insane! How do you stop a juggernaut like that?
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Okay, female dog. Yeah, that is definitely what you said. Yes. Let's keep it wholesome and family friendly. Thank you.
Well, it's a whole lot easier than you think. Bullets. Seriously, you just shoot him. Remember, Magneto is ferromagnetic, so not all metal is under his control, and bullets, by and large, are made with a lead core encased with a copper jacket, both of which are non-magnetic materials, which means Magneto should have no more control over a bullet than he would the plastic cell from X2, or even a plastic water bottle for that matter.
Interesting.
If you watch the series with this knowledge, you'll notice that throughout the X-Men films, Magneto shows very little success at stopping bullets. In the famously awesome Quicksilver time in a bottle sequence, Magneto has complete control over all the kitchen utensils, but it's up to Quicksilver to deflect the bullets and save Eric and Charles's life. And then at the end of Days of Future Past, Mystique shoots Magneto in the neck. The movie makes it seem like this is because Magneto's distracted by the Sentinel, but in truth, it's because his magnetic powers don't extend to bullets. bullets. Now, I can totally see you being skeptical about this. What about that awesome scene from the first X-Men movie where Magneto is surrounded by the police officers? I hear you saying. He stops a bullet right there. And yeah, you're right, he does stop a bullet in that scene. But let's pick it apart, shall we? Magneto starts the scene by turning each of the officers' guns against them. And this falls well under the purview of his powers, as most guns are made from aluminum and steel. So no big surprise. And a really cool, really intense image. But then Magneto fires one of the guns and stops the bullet itself at the base of the officer's forehead. If what I'm saying is true and he can't control bullets, how's this work? Well, my first impulse...
True, how does it work? Or unless it's like one in so many different guns in which one of the bullets actually work. Huh, interesting.
was to say that this bullet must be what's known as a Full Metal Jacket bullet. And no, I'm not talking about a transmuting anime bullet or an 80s cinema classic bullet, but a lead
Full Metal Alchemist!
bullet jacketed in steel to allow for higher velocity shooting. If this were the case, it would be easy for Magneto to control, except that we get a good look at that bullet spinning in midair, and it doesn't have the long, more aerodynamic shape of a full metal bullet. Further complicating the situation is that in the late 90s, several major cities in the US, including New York, the setting for this scene, stopped using full metal jacketed bullets in favor of hollow point HST ammunition, bullets designed to expand once they hit. The intent is to cause a high level of damage immediately around the entry point, which disables the target. These HST bullets tend to be shorter and rounder and are jacketed not with steel, but with copper, a non-ferrous, almost completely non-ferromagnetic metal, meaning that in the real world, the bullets carried by the majority of major US cities would be totally unaffected by Magneto's powers. In other words, they would definitely pose a threat to him, but they wouldn't explain this situation at all. So what's going on here? Am I completely off the mark in my analysis of Magneto's powers? Well, no. Watch the scene again. First, notice the shape of the bullet. Shorter and more rounded, so it's definitely our HST bullet. But notice the color of the bullet. Silver, and not yellow-orange like copper. Also, it's important to note that this standoff is happening at night. These two facts are essential because law enforcement agencies have reported that in low-light, low-velocity shooting situations, they'll use special nickel casings for their hollow point ammo. Nickel, a metal that's completely susceptible to ferromagnetism.
Works on nickel.
And that is exactly what we're seeing. Need more evidence? Pay attention to the fact that Magneto doesn't fire at every officer surrounding him. He only fires this one particular bullet. Why? He carefully searches his surroundings, almost as if he's looking for the right gun to fire, the one out of the dozens that doesn't have lead and copper bullets. For instance, he doesn't fire a shotgun shell because shotgun shells often contain a mix of ferrous and non-ferrous metals. No, he specifically selects the bullet he can control. And if you think I'm reading too much into it, don't trust me, trust him. Magneto himself admits to it.
I don't think I can stop them all.
He's not talking about the number of bullets he would be firing. Remember, this is the guy who can lift the Golden Gate Bridge and catch dozens of missiles in midair. He honestly can't stop them all. His powers won't allow it. So in the end, the master of magnetism, a mutant with power levels rivaling that of a neutron star, my favorite growing up, and a man who can rip apart bridges with a flick of the wrist, can be brought down by a simple bullet, just like you or me. What he's been able to do is fool everyone into thinking that he can control bullets when the vast majority of them pose a huge threat to him. Forget adamantium blades and laser eyes. Sometimes the most effective weapon is the simplest. I guess giving Wolverine a hard time about not being able to stop bullets in midair was a bit premature. But hey, that's just a theory.
Charles Xavier can... Oh, wow.
A film theory. And cut. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode and are excited for more X-Men apocalypse action, click right here to check out my buddies over at the Wisecrack channel and their recent video all about the philosophy of the X-Men series. The annotation works on mobile, desktop, tablet, you name it, so go ahead, click it, watch their video. You have no excuse now. Or if you're interested in learning how to take down Wolverine, I cover that exact subject in my Deadpool episode, because the two actually share the exact same weakness. Click right here to check that one out. And now if you'll excuse me, I need a little break from superheroes. I hear there's some Pixar movies coming out in the near future, and some lies that need to be exposed. See you next time.
Oh my god! Another exposed video. Huh. Interesting. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you find this video very interesting and very unique to watch. If you do like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Don't forget to follow my channel. Honestly speaking, today's video is very educational. Thank you. and I hope to see you in my next video. But hey, that's just a theory, a film theory. Thanks for watching. Thank you, and cut. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye. Thank you. And don't forget to please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye. Subscribe.